Here's Dan Shapiro to help you find your edge, master your process, and own your future.
Hey guys, good afternoon everybody. Welcome to another edition of the AccessToTrader.com weekend update show. Hope everybody is doing well. Hope everybody has a nice start to their weekend. If you could be so kind, if you like what we're doing, continue to watch. Thank you very much for the support. All I ask is in return is if you do like what we're doing, hit that like button. If you haven't done so already, subscribe. Come aboard, and hopefully, again, I will continue to point you in the right direction. So let's talk about it. Indexes had a red week ending August the 21st. You had the NASDAQ down 2%, led by semiconductors. Again, they lead the market, and when the market goes down, they will lead down the market. Again, there's the biggest weight indexes, stocks in the index on the planet is the memory semiconductor slash chips, the quote unquote information technology names as well, right? So you had a 2% move down for the NASDAQ 100. You had a 1.4% fall off on the S&P 500. High treasury yields rising, oil rising. Again, rotation out of the big runners. Still uncertain geopolitical war headlines here and there. And the question is, well, what happened, right? Did the market suck? No, the market didn't suck. And again, it kind of goes back to what we talk about every single day. Guys, we're not trading the market, right? You don't trade the market. You trade individual names. There's always something, whether it's to the upside or to the downside, that can produce results. There's something out there that always technology, especially in the technology sector, that there always is going to be heavy institutional money flow coming into that name with short-term option flow, short-term deep out of the money, near expiration option flow. And when that gets triggered, it's going to get triggered very, very hard. And I'll show you guys a couple of examples from Friday. We only had 3 pivots, right? 3 pivots from Friday, but 2 out of the 3 were the 2 out of 3 biggest pivots on the board. So it's very, very important considering we trade the same names over and over and over again. It wasn't like a shock to us that this happened. Again, all you can do is be prepared, take the data, set your alerts. And when that stock confirms, and especially when you get the strong option flow, there is your high probability trading. The ironic part about it is the biggest mover, right? The biggest mover of the week had nothing to do with technology. It was a stock that was forgotten, right? It was a stock that was a shining celebrity during the COVID craze, and then it died. Hopefully, no pun intended, right? And that was Moderna. Moderna and its partner Merck had positive phase 3 cancer trials. As you can imagine, the stock went out of its mind. Stock was up 130% for the week. And this is after a 25% inside day on Thursday. So hopefully in this lifetime, we can get some really great cancer news and once and for all cure this damn thing. But unfortunately, as Chris Rock said about 20 years ago in one of his specials, the money is not in the cure, right? The money's in the medicine, but hopefully human life and human dignity could win out over profit. But even then, regardless, really good news for Moderna. Merck, its partner, obviously you can see not exactly the same results, but still very, very positive. But the names that continue to get sold, a lot of these technology names, we've been covering them all in all, right? The QQQs going into Monday's session closed right on the 50-day moving average, right? That's not a good or bad thing, okay? And the reason why I say that is Monday is going to provide for us what's going to happen next for the foreseeable future. Right now, the 50-day moving average on the QQQs is 713. Guess where they closed? 713. So yes, usually a random Monday summer session wouldn't be important. I would say Monday's session is going to be very important because regardless of what your favorite stock is going to do or attempting to do, we're either going to get a close above the 50-day moving average on the Qs, or below the 50-day moving average in the Qs. And you can see it last time we got above was a short period of time, but we got above. We went from 707 all the way up to 734 in a matter of 2 weeks. Last time we lost the 50-day moving average on the close. We went from 724 all the way down to 661. So yes, the 50-day moving average, if you've been watching me for a long time, is a very, very important. So any close above 713 is bullish. Any close below 713 on Monday, again, I don't want to be overly dramatic, but it's going to be a very important session. You look at the SPYs, right? SPY has just been falling, right? It's been falling ever since they lost the 5-day moving average and the 10-day moving average. Again, it's just been kind of grinding lower. Again, not a big deal until we start having a conversation at the 50-day moving average. We're still 14 points above, but right now we're just kind of drifting. You can make a case that this is the end of summer. There's not a lot of people around to defend price action. Okay, I'll buy that for now. Majority of the names that I trade have nothing to do with the S&P 500. There are some crossovers with the Apples and the Microsofts of the world, the Metas of the world, but the majority of names in the S&P 500 have nothing to do with my concentration level. Tesla's there as well. We'll get to that as well. Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin has been basically a savings account for the last year or so. Finally woke up. Really, really big moves on Bitcoin, sparked big moves with their derivatives on Coinbase. MSTR was up like 25% for the week. That's pretty damn big. I don't know. Again, I don't know what sparks Bitcoin or makes it go lower, or makes it go into stalemate. But again, results are results are results. Can this continue to be some sort of inkling into more speculation money hitting the marketplace and rallying the tape? A little too early to tell, but at least for the Coinbases of the world and MicroStrategy of the world, or even the Bitcoin shareholders of the world, this has been a really, really good week. Let's talk Turkey, right? Let's talk Turkey. Okay, so forget about the stocks they're selling, right? And you guys know the names. Amazon, we've been talking about Amazon for a while now. Bezos is selling. NVIDIA just cannot sustain a big rally. It's just kind of what it is. It goes on a week and a half rally and then just dies. You can just see the chart here over and over and over again, especially in the last 6 months. Microsoft had a big run. It's kind of just teetering here, below the 5, below the 10-day moving average. Not healthy. You got Meta, can't get out of its own way, right? Can't get out of its own way on Meta. You have the semi names, right? Micron kind of sitting there on the 50-day moving average, kind of delta neutral. It has a chance, just like the mirrored image of the QQQs, to make a stance this week. So again, no judgment yet and no key direction yet on Micron. SanDisk continues to build below the 50-day moving average. It really needs to get back above the 1650 to kind of wake up again. But if you look at some of the other semis, you got ARM looking like garbage, right? You got ARM looking like garbage. Avago just cannot get out of its own way. It looked very, very promising, just rolled over and died. It rolled over and died because Marvel had a deal with Google, right? Marvel had a deal with Google and had a really, really good run in the beginning of the week and it just kind of died. It was a negative effect for Avago. You look at AMD, right? You look at AMD well below the 50-day moving average as well. So you got a disconnect here from a lot of names, right? There's still a lot of speculation money, especially the Bitcoin names that are pouring in. And now there is a potential transfer into the greatest stock on the planet. No, I'm not talking about AMD. And I'm definitely not talking about AMC, right? I am talking about your friend and mine, Mr. Tesla, right? So what do we got here? Now, if you're looking at the chart, you turn around and say, all right, Dan, had a nice little bounce. What are you getting so excited about? Okay, let's do a quick little history lesson, right? Last time, and I'm not going to go back to the history of Tesla. Last time Tesla got above the 50-day moving average was on April the 30th, right? And it went from 384 to 453 in a matter of a week. That's 70 points. Last time Tesla lost the 50-day moving average, the stock went from 402 and the stock went to 368 in 4 trading days, right? So, and then, excuse me, the second to last time. The last time it lost the 50-day, it went from 413 Sorry about that. Went to 297. Again, I think you get the point across why the 50-day is so important. So here we are, right? Here we are. We touched the 50-day moving average on Friday. If Tesla wants to grace us, right? Grace us all in its presence and potentially go on another big run, we need for this damn thing to get back above the 50-day moving average, right? If it could get back above the 50-day moving average, we could get a multi-day, multi-week, really aggressive rally. Again, this was the last time it got back above the 50-day. The stock went from 408 to 432 in 3 sessions, just to give you an idea, right? And here's where we lost it. So I would love to see Tesla get back above the 50-day moving average. If it could get back above the moving average, it could start filling in this whole earnings gap and get back to this 385, 390 level, right? This is very, very important. Look at, if you look at the options market, they started coming in for some really, really aggressive call buying into Friday's session. We'll get the pivots in a second. There's only 3 pivots on Friday, but they're starting to come in for some short-term 370 and 375 calls. Any close above the 50-day moving average, this will be risk on. Now, again, if you go back to the recent history, we just don't know how long this rally is going to be. Tesla, for whatever reason, cannot live with prosperity, but we're not looking for a 3, 4, 5 month run. We're looking for a day by day, right? Just keep on getting above the 50 days, staying above, and keep on building price action above the 50-day moving average. So this week, again, it has a really good chance to get back above the 50-day moving average, stake its claim, and run the savages into oblivion who are shorting the stock into disadvantageous prices. So let's see what happens there. PLTR, beautiful breakout this week, right? Had a great run on earnings, went sideways for 2 weeks, and this thing is poised, man. This thing looks really good. We saw some pretty aggressive September 190 call buyers come in pretty aggressively on Friday. Definitely a name to watch, because if this thing could just get back above, right, Friday's channel, this thing could wake up really hard. Look at Robinhood, right? Robinhood had a really, really big move above the 50-day moving average, exploding. We saw some September and October 120s being printed. Very, very strong move. Only reason why it stopped where it did is you can see it hit its linear regression line on Friday. If it could get back above its linear regression line, I think we could see the recent July highs. It looks, really, really good. So this is playing out really well. So you got some names. You got some names that are definitely standing out. The Palantirs, the Robinhoods of the world, the Tesla of the world. Right now, we are in a very, very delicate place with the NASDAQ 100, as discussed prior, that we closed right on the 50-day moving average. So it's very, very important that we close above it on Monday. Some other names that look really good. You got NOW. NOW is getting super duper tight here, guys. Keep an eye on NOW if it could get back above the previous week's highs. And Rivian, right? I don't think it has anything to do with Tesla, but Rivian, this is the first close now above the 50-day moving average. If it can just get back above the July 31st highs, this thing could actually start waking up again. Again, here's the point of reference. Here's the last time Rivian closed above the 50-day moving average was on June the 26th, and the stock went from 1572 and in 5 days went to 20. So again, kind of a big deal. So for all you guys who trade the lower price names, keep an eye on Rivian going into next week as well. So here are the pivots, right? Here are the pivots, guys. I only traded Tesla on Friday. That's it. Again, you don't need, look, when you're trading Tesla and Palantir and Amazon and Meta, you don't need 100 trades, guys. When these things are going, they're not going in, 50-cent intervals. Sometimes they do. But when these things start to expand, especially big levels, they go pretty aggressively. So here's the key metric, 351.62. That was reclaiming back the 34 EMA, and that's when they started pounding. When I'm talking about pounding, the 355 weeklies, the 360s, the 365 weeklies, and Tesla went savage, right? Tesla went absolutely savage. As you can see here, this was the word go, right from the word go. So here's the whole 351.60s level, and this damn thing went all the way up to 366. It needs to get back above Friday's channel, and then we potentially have another 10 to 15 points. So Tesla was awesome. PLTR went crazy, went absolutely crazy within 30 minutes, right? Within 30 minutes, 176.82 was the key pivot level, and PLTR went nuts. It got above this whole 3-day channel there. That's where the 176.82 level got back above the previous week's high of 180.20 and went to 82.50. You're talking about a $6 move in a very, very short period of time. Guys, look at this move here. This is a massive, massive move in a very short period of time. Congratulations for all you guys who caught it. Also, again, it needs to get back above Friday's channel for higher price action going into next week as well. So again, huge moves here. NOW didn't confirm. CRM, not a bad move. 208 rejected twice, basically needs to build. And CRM, went up about $2-3, nothing crazy, but this is now the highest close in the whole formation going into Monday's session. And I believe that is it, right? Microsoft never got there. I don't believe so. I wasn't even looking at it. Microsoft, let's see here, 477 short. Nope, still there, still there. So really good week, really, really good week. Let's see, guys. Let's see. Nothing hits harder. Nothing feels different. Nothing feels better than a runaway train on Tesla. Do we at least get an opportunity to get on that runaway train? We shall see, said the blind man. We shall see. Guys, have a great remainder of your weekend. God bless. I'll see all the new faces in the webinar. I look forward to working with you. And with God's help, I will see you all in the field on Monday.